Alrighty, so it has been a slog. It's been almost a week. I started last Friday. Um, Converting an old photo scenery, well, not photo scenery. I'm so used to doing photo scenery. Uh, a scenery project for Brisbane, which I started with Flight Sim 10 and prepared, and um, with the new SDKs, it's been really cool. Thought it was going to be easy conversion. Discovered that I had a lot of issues with textures. I needed to go and invert them. On DDS, the texture mapping was all weird. When it came into the sim, I lost transparency. So I did that on an automated thing. I ran a couple of scripts to be able to clean up my XML code, added in some of the new FS 2020 data into it, which was pretty easy. And basically within the first day, I was able to get basically all the buildings into the sim. They weren't perfectly texture mapped, the transparency issues were there, and I needed to build a lot of excludes to be able to merge the buildings into the data sets. Now there's 3 levels of scenery objects for Flight Sim 2020. There's Microsoft buildings, there's OpenStreetMap buildings, which is the majority of what the building shapes that you see that aren't photo. I have real difficulty with this word, photogrammetry, and everything. So, and then there's building detection. I normally, when I go into develop, I go pause simulation, and then hit ready to fly. And then when I'm ready, because normally I can switch into developer camera, move around, go check out the scenery, but I want to go actually fly this one, so jump in here. There seems to be a disconnect between the pause up there and the pause here. It seems to be a different pause mode. So hit resume. And here we go. So just off our nose, we got the GABA. Whenever this is taken, you can actually see players on the field, so I may need to put some 3D people in there eventually, but I'll do that another time. So we have Telstra Exchange on the left. We're going to come down the left side of the river first up. And we have the Goodwill Bridge and the Maritime Museum. Oh, let me... Sorry, I've got the air traffic control in the background. We have one of the dock things there. There used to be a helipad there. Now off to the left we have the Convention Center, we have the Brisbane Eye, we have the Performing Arts Center. There's no good model available for the Queensland Museum. We have a Museum of Contemporary Art and the REI building or something. I need to raise this bridge up a little bit. It's sunken down a little bit in the water, and the railway bridge, I need to add a new texture for the roads using some high resolution aerial imagery that I've got. I've got to figure out how to do that because SketchUp has changed. The William Jolly Bridge here, again, I need to put a texture on the road. I need to raise the bridge up a little bit higher. Come across the left here, and we have Lang Park. Suncorp Stadium. I still call it Lang Park because I grew up in Brisbane in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. So goalposts there. I need to go through a bunch of these buildings. Now basically at the moment I've got all of the placements in, which is nice. I need to rework a lot of the models. Let me come over to the other side here. You can see the pedestrian bridge on the left there. We have Parliament there, and then there's one custom 3D building there which is starting to be pretty generic even though it's custom. So you have the Convention Center on the left, which is really nice, and all the generic auto-gen for South Brisbane, which is really cool. So I'm pretty happy with that. The Riverside Expressway and Captain Cook Bridge, I just decided to keep as default. Let me come up this side of the river. If you look over the left here, I've got the old Qe2 engineering building. Leaving that in there, it's basically a grass field now, but that's the way it looked when I left. So coming down the riverfront here, we have Stanford Plaza, Waterfront Place, Riverside Center, Eagle Street, AMP, Camalco. Don't know the name of those couple of buildings. We have Riverside Center, Stock Exchange building, and we have the Story Bridge. I want to redo some of the lighting and stuff. That's one of the other things that I want to be able to do. Coming around the river here, we have what are the name of these buildings? Admiralty? Not Admiralty, that's back behind. The name escapes me just in a moment. So I'd love to be able to put some boats in on the river as well. So coming across here, I'll scoot back across the river and come back around because I missed a couple of buildings. Basically, there's a ton of buildings. It's probably about 250 buildings right now that I've been able to place. So yeah, most of these are all custom. There's very few OpenStreetMap buildings left. So, and I've tried to merge stuff as well as possible. So, somewhere across here, and I don't know exactly how to find the street, there's the entrance to Fortitude Valley. Now you come off, let me see, I'll try and find it by the road. Come off Fortitude Valley, we come down the street here. There it is. You can see it just there. To the entrance to Chinatown. Those are in there. There's a couple of buildings here. I haven't built excludes for Fortitude Valley yet. Those are still to do, but I am fried and I'm going to do that tomorrow. So coming across, we have a ton of custom buildings. Suncor Plaza. I'll try and give a better overview as I'm flying across with everything. Flying down around the OpenStreetMap buildings. Former Metway, we have the Transit Center and Travelodge, if it's still Travelodge. I don't know whether it's still a Travelodge or not. I've been out of Brisbane for a couple of years. So there's a couple of new buildings here. This block has been raised. There was another building there, but I decided to go with the OpenStreetMap data. I'll try and get some of those buildings modeled. The same with this new Queensland government building here. On the left, I've left the old Queensland State Government building there, simply because, well, it's dirt. They're using 2017 imagery from Bing. So yeah, we have Key West. Well, there's Central Plaza. So I'll try and do a scoot down some of these streets. I like this plane because it's got a good canopy. Yeah. Don't do this. I don't have crash detection turned on right now. Oops, that's going to bounce off the building. Yeah, keep flying. Okay, so here gives us a unique view. Let me just slew back up. Sorry about that. This is what you can't do in a real city, flying. But yeah, this is how she's looking so far. It really feels like home. I've been wanting to make Brisbane ever since this Flight Sim 4 was when I started doing development. I started mapping out the Southeast Freeway. There was no scenery. I had to have a custom map for Australia. But this is really nice. Let's go down Queen Street here. Let me just kill the throttle a little bit. So we have the Treasury Casino. We have Queen's, what is it, Meyer Center, Hilton, AXA Australia, Central Plaza. On the left somewhere should be, whoops, just through Central Plaza. So yeah, it's honestly looking pretty sweet. So this is getting a little disorienting flying around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into dev mode and eject. So here we go. Bye bye. I'm going to put the joystick and throttle down. So this will give a better view of Brisbane City. We come back here. Oh, there's a couple other areas too that I've had. So we have the Gabba. So nice little view around there. Telstra Tower. I need to put PBR textures and stuff on it and everything. So that's the Gabba. Come across here. And we have the Goodwill Bridge. That's all good to go. I need to rework the Maritime Museum here on the left. And there's not really any 3D models yet available on Brisbane now. These I've got licensed for the sim. I'm not a 3D modeler myself. By the time I learn 3D modeling, I may as well throw a drone up and model off of that. So we have the Brisbane Eye here. In the sim, OpenStreetMaps has a bunch of buildings here. Now this imagery, as it's from 2017, has some tents up there, and they, in the OpenStreetMap data, they have buildings for some reason. I'm not sure what data set that they used. So yeah. So we have OpenStreetMap buildings here. We have Queensland Performing Arts Centre. It's pretty old. Those posters probably need a change. I could probably do that later. Brisbane Convention Centre, all looking pretty good. Generic bridge. I really didn't want to tweak the Riverside Expressway because it's better mapped out. Now I'd love to be able to change the altitude so that it's more realistic. And this connection with this bridge here is not so great. And there's a building down here that has the old like Brisbane Bridge or whatever it was. So this is, I forget what building is which. One is Museum of Contemporary Art, and the other is like an architectural building. Please forgive me if I don't mention the name correctly. This is I think it's a Creapura Bridge or Creapura, I don't know. Please forgive me if I'm butchering the name. I have not. This bridge went up when I was living in the United States. I don't know the name of it. I do need to be able to change the textures out so that high resolution. William Jolly Bridge here. It's not perfect. I still need to put road surfaces on. RNO has done an amazing job with Model Converter X, and a few of us have worked at and learned, you know, that there's applying crash detection, crash modeling and stuff onto it. So these, I'm planning to model the lighting at night so that they look more realistic. We have Parmalat here, Italian owned. Probably used to be Paul's, I guess. I'm not too sure. Factory there, and then we've got the railway bridge, which I forget the name of it at the moment. And then over here, this building just here is a custom model. This one I can swap out. I'm just waiting to be able to get the data set for that. And somewhere over here is a Sky Needle, which I need to put in tomorrow. I'm just at the point where I'm like, I'm done for the day. So go over here to Suncorp Stadium, Lang Park, which is looking pretty good. Sorry for the scrolling. Yeah, we look down. Nobody's playing a game. Who knows? Might be able to eventually animate that. So we come across here, and we have the transit center. Generic buildings here for that platform. Not 100% sure how that platform looks. These three are modeled, as well as the main transit center building. I left simply because I like the way that the OpenStreetMap roads have built this little platform coming in that looks good. And we don't really have much on this block until we reach here. Now, most of this block is custom buildings. There's a couple of OpenStreetMap buildings there. And that's pretty much it for this block. I don't have this building, that's kind of new. And we have these couple of buildings here. And I'll just go block by block. So we come back. I think that's the law courts. Looks like I may need to redo that. It looks like there's a transparency issue there. Santos. Wait a minute, is that the way it's supposed to look? Or do I need to build another exclude? Let me go down and look. I think I need to build an exclude. I think I've missed one. Yes, I have. Okay. I missed an exclude. I need to add that into that one. So we come down. Suncorp Bank, I think it is. This, I had to make a compromise on this little area. There's an origin building there, but it kind of merges into the custom building, so I decided to go with the custom building and remove that. Now, I probably can adjust it and have the other part do that, because just looking at that now, it looks kind of funky. Is that a custom object? That looks like a custom object. Or is that generic? Ooh. You see, this is a building detection model, I think, and this is not. Anyway, Suncorp building coming down here. So that's looking pretty cool. Let's move over to the next block. So we have the Marriott. Generic buildings on that block. It's new. Let me make a note of this. This building is still not in for some reason. I think it's St. John's Cathedral. So let me go St. John's Cathedral. Need to get that building in there. I've got it. I just mustn't have copied the building code correctly, or object code. So most of that is custom, except for this block here, this little section down here. So basically, where I don't have custom 3D models, I was just going with the generic stuff. But that, for the most part, is not a big deal. So yeah, what is that building? I don't know. Brisbane City Hall. Now, there's a church down here, and that seems to be missing. I need to look at what's going on with that section in real life. But Brisbane City Hall, at one point, when my dad was growing up, this was the highest building in the city. It's just gone crazy over the years. Telstra building. Now, this block right here, I had a custom building for that, but they've rebuilt that area. Don't have custom models as yet. So let me go down the street more. We've got, I forget the name of this building. We have Treasury Casino, Chifley, Queen Street Mall. I'm going to probably go through and redo the vegetation down Queen Street Mall, just because it looks kind of busy down there. But I'm gonna leave that for now. I don't really want to get that crazy about it. Oh, yeah, and this is the Meyer Center off to the right as well. They all need better texturing. The Hilton. This building, if you are not a Brisbaneite, you will have probably seen this in several different movies. It's often used as backdrop. This is the city that they filmed the movie San Andreas at. So that's there. ANZ building. My favorite building in the city is Central Plaza, which they filmed an episode of Mission Impossible, a TV series at. And it looks like I've got a generic building showing up. I might need to build a bigger exclude. Interesting. I don't know, is it a texture issue? Maybe a texture issue. I'm not sure. And then Customs House down here. Swinging back around. Credit Union Australia. Let's go across this way. Riverside Center. Wait. No, that's St. Stephen's, I think it is. So yeah, head back. This is Meyer Center. Back across here. Now, oh, there's the Commonwealth Bank building is over there. Okay. So, Camalco, AMP Place. Those were the two, when I first moved to Brisbane in '82, those were the two biggest buildings in the city. And you'll have to forgive me, I don't know the names of all of the new buildings. So, come across here, new Queensland Government Building, which is generic OpenStreetMap, which actually looks pretty good apart from not having that bevel. Key West, new building on the right, and this big tall building on the left. And then Stanford Plaza. And then the other side of that. They've done a really good job with the Botanic Gardens, but there's so much vegetation there. I may do some gardening. Because there's a couple of cool things in there, but I need to learn how to do that, and that's more for when I'm feeling inspired to be creative. So then, my next trip is start heading south, and I don't have the Goodwill Bridge, and I don't have the Indrapilli Bridge in at the moment. I'm curious about this. There's a water body here. It looks like a water body. I'm not sure what's actually there in real life. So come across here. Raise up a little bit. We have Qe2 Stadium, which looks a bit better than a generic building. And that kind of, oh wait, there's one more Easter egg down here. I've got to orient myself. Where am I? Go down here, Southeast Freeway. And we have Garden City Shopping Center. Now, wait a minute. Oh, that's awesome. Huh. Yeah, there's that's really strange. Yeah, the generic building has an extension on there that isn't there, but this actually matches in with the imagery perfectly. Yeah, well, let's go over near Brisbane. I normally hang out over here. So that's a quick overview of Brisbane City.